Hey guys, my name is JessiMew, and welcome back to Adam's Quest. In the last episode, our ancients saw many changes to the course of their story. Not only did we invite a brand new creature to our tribe, when we rescued Kaduk from the glaciers, and we assumed that he was probably Izmi's older brother maybe. They definitely seem to have some sort of connection. They do look very similar despite the difference in their genes. So I think it's quite likely that he was part of her family in the past. He's probably quite surprised to see how old she is now. But of course, she also made a decision, and I think her age had something to do with it, to start a new family with a rogue male in the grass. What she didn't know was her true mate Daybreak was still alive at the time, and he arrived just in time to see her betrayal. So now I fear that Daybreak's spirit might be haunting this place, and I wonder if his influence is going to be enough to disturb the safe haven. Do you think maybe his would be stronger than Comet's? Comet is the one who usually protects us here, gives us food of course, plenty of food, and places to rest. So I don't know. I am a little bit concerned that he might stop us from getting to the new island, and I think only our oracles can intervene. But since everybody over there is a little bit too tired to do any moving around, let's go back to our brand new bluebird leader. Salami is full of energy. She just took on the bluebird feathers, and she knows it's going to be her job to lead the tribe very soon. So I think as her father watches on very proudly, of course, she's going to stumble her way down the shore. She's going to rally up the troops to get ready to follow in the bluebird's shadow. Now that she knows the stories of Adam and all of those old traditions as well, she knows that this is definitely the right way to go. Interesting too how the bluebird is swooping right over the sea. And since she does have the water body, it's almost as if the bluebird himself is judging her right now, judging our actions and agreeing with our idea of making Salami the leader. So let's bring her right up here, and I think we're going to have Sunflower chase right in her shadow. I feel like these two are probably going to grow very close. They did just take down that mighty bear Yina together after all, and for warriors there's no better way to bond. So let's have them settle down right on the opposite shore. If we bring Salami over to the sand, maybe she could even do a little bit of nosing around into the ocean on the next turn. To be honest, I'm not sure if that's something Sunflower would truly be interested in. Something tells me he would really like to return to his clover patches, all of the flowers up in the mountains. I don't know, maybe we could have him lead her up there? They are going to make their way straight over to the stream, so I suppose they could always take a little detour to maybe pick some flowers that he loves so much. Maybe that could be another way for them to bond too. She's already shown him her side of the family, so maybe Sunflower can show her his. Now I think we might bring Tefan over to Daylight's side. I did notice that they're both going to pass away on the very same day. To be honest, I feel like it would be pretty fitting for these two to reconcile. We'll bring him right over here, he can pick up the grasses around them, and they can talk about how strange their paths in life were. On the previous island, when they were very young, it seemed like these two would never get along. Daylight was part of the might of the sun, and Tefan was cloaked in shadow, and while he still does show quite a few of those bandit tendencies, I do feel like that might have rubbed off on Salami a little bit, so we'll have to keep an eye on her too. He has really calmed down ever since having his daughter. He spent all of that extra energy just doting upon her and making sure that she's going to be a little bit better than he was in his youth. So I think that just leaves Soul and Trinket now, and I'm not too sure if these two would want to follow their leaders just yet. I feel like they're a little bit too worried about their son at the moment. Gold is actually sick, so let's scoot Trinket over here. We'll have her breed one more time with Soul too, just so we have that extra baby just in case these two get sick. But otherwise, they're going to have to find a way to cure Gold very quickly. I wonder if they would turn to one of the healers, either Aura or even Dusk Soul. For that matter, Dusk Soul is just about to make his way over to one of the healing fruits, the very same one that his sister Dawn Soul found for him. So maybe Gold would actually make a good first patient? It would be some very experimental medicine, mind you. But at this point, I think these two would be willing to try anything because they don't want to see their family wither away. We'll have Sol go ahead and pack up the nest, I suppose, and then maybe just sing out on the tree stumps just like he always does? Oh no, who picked up the leech? Was it you? Oh, Salami, I think it was. Oh, see, you are taking after your father. Devon always had trouble with the leeches too. Interesting how they're coming after you now, just as you're starting to lead your tribe over to the ocean. Very, very mysterious. It sure is clear to me that Splash has no love for their family, but I suppose all of his attention is going toward Doubloon and Mimic anyways. So Mimic, I noticed that you have some more bunnies down here. I did want him to go after his brother, but to be honest, oh my goodness, if he saw this many bunnies in the darkness, there is no way that he would let all of this food go to waste. Mimic is actually one of the best bunny hunters that we've had in quite some time, and I wonder if that's because he's truly living up to his namesake. Maybe he's learned how to call out to the bunnies, so they'll come to him and he can just scoop them right up. Kind of like mimicking their sounds, if you will. Makes me wonder if he might even pick up on some other creatures as well. I wonder if he's going to learn the cries of the bear hyenas. Maybe if he gets to know our friendly bear hyena that Aura is currently nursing. So all we have left is Doubloon, who is currently trying his hardest to sweep Marigold off her feet. To be honest, he's doing a pretty good job. He's already warmed her up, and I think if he scoots on up here, he should be able to not only light up this area, revealing all of the bunnies skittering around, but maybe he could make a nice clear area for him to sing to her in the future. Oh my gosh, these two could even set up for a little duet with the 2 tree stumps. Oh, that would be perfect. Okay, you guys make sure the stage is clear, and as soon as we skip the day, we'll see if you two can call out into the darkness and maybe make some new friends. We haven't had too much luck in attracting visitors to our tribe through the tree stumps, though we've tried many, many times so far. Maybe all we need is their duet to finally turn things around. Now with the passing of Devon, the very first thing we're going to do is make sure that we pick that leech right off of you, Salami. And of course, your ever-loyal warrior will lick your wounds too, giving you plenty of energy to scoot on down the shore again. But because she's on the beaches, she is starting to get a little bit cold, so maybe Sunflower would notice that too. Maybe that's even why he's going to pull her off toward the clover patches. He'll tell her that it's much warmer to travel within the grasslands themselves. So let's bring him right up here, lighting up the way to the healing fruit as well. So Dawn Soul, come on this way, go ahead and pick up that grass, and make sure the path is clear for your little brother to examine this thing. Now he is going to be very, very curious about how he could put this to good use. And I think the first creature they should probably heal would be Aura herself. She has lost quite a bit of her lifespan to the bear hyena attack, but also to a bit of sickness. In the process of healing so many sick creatures, she has also caught quite a few colds. So maybe her little brother can lend her a hand. As it is right now though, it looks like she has her paws pretty much full. I guess this friendly bear hyena does really appreciate her company. He knows that she's trying her best to help him. So let's see if you can continue leading him away. I don't feel like she would try to follow her leaders. To be honest, I feel like she considers them to be a hindrance to his safety. She's not sure if Salami is just going to decide to turn on him after all. She was pretty adamant about getting rid of the bear hyenas. So maybe we'll have Aura try to climb into the mountains? I mean, the bluebird is hovering right overhead too. Maybe she figures this is just the best way to go. It must be a sign only for her. And to be honest, she does have the stripes, so I suppose she would have a little bit of Adam's pride in her too. Maybe she would also look for the bluebirds for guidance. It's not as though they have very many oracles anymore. In fact, pretty soon, this side of the family is going to be left completely oracle-less. We only have a couple days remaining on Sol, and he's so concerned with keeping his baby safe. I don't know if he's going to have the time to consider any prophecies. He never was really the prophecy sort. He was more for burying creatures out at sea. That's what makes that platypus speak so great. So I guess we'll have you guys start making your way into the grasses too. We want to make sure that we get your little baby over to the healers after all. If we scoot Trinket up here, she should be able to guide Gold straight back to her side. That way the bluebird won't get any ideas. It is awfully close, so we have to be careful. I guess all you guys can do after that is just pick up the grass. And you know, Soul, if you wouldn't mind staying next to the baby, maybe you could allow Trinket to go a little bit further in. That way she could clear out the pathway more. She can make sure that Gold won't have anything hindering his path. He's so weak as it is, stumbling through the tall grass is going to make it very, very hard on him. They don't need to make the journey any more rough. Now as for you, Isme, I know you're getting very close to the end of your lifespan, and you do have this brand new little baby who's going to need somebody to look after her. The only problem is her brother is so sick, so if she doesn't figure out something fast, then Kuduk is going to pass away before Shine even gets the chance to grow up. But on her way to the glacier, she actually passed one of the healing fruits over here with Frosthowl. So I wonder if she would remember that? She doesn't know exactly where it is, but she could probably send him in the right direction. So let's have Kuduk scoot up to the nest. Maybe if we bring him right on top of the bunny burrow, he could use this as leverage. We'll have him flatten down the grasses with those big mammoth feet of his, and he'll try his best to search for his sister's healing fruit. And with him so distracted, he isn't very likely to notice her slowing down either. In fact, part of this might be that she just doesn't want him to see her suffer. It must be pretty heartbreaking to her, because all of her dreams are just coming to an end. She always wanted to raise her big, strong family right alongside Kuduk's, but it seems as though she's not going to get that chance. So I guess all we could have her do is maybe scoot on over here. She could pick up some of the grasses. Though I also want to sniff around, because I noticed that we haven't seen our rogue male friend in quite some time. I'm not sure if he's slithered off somewhere. I mean, after Daybreak attacked him. I suppose there's always a chance that it did too much damage. I wonder if he's actually passed away somewhere out in the grasses, finally succumbing to Daybreak's revenge. Somehow I don't think even that would be enough to appease his spirit, and that's why we need to turn our attentions over to Frosthowl. So as he picks up this meat, maybe he has something to offer up to Frostbite, because I'm sure he's feeling a little bit peckish by now. He was, after all, just searching for those roots. He does have a little bit of an endless stomach, but now his digging paw is going to play a much bigger role. So Frosthowl bears some very heavy news. Not only has your father passed away, but it seems as though his spirit might be clinging to this island. It's kind of sad and ironic in a way, because that's exactly what Dawnbreak was trying to prevent. He knew it was very likely that Isme's family had been left here on this island without anybody to put them to rest. And after finding so many places to bury so many of her ancestors, now he's stuck here instead. He's frozen on this island just like our creatures in the glaciers. So I think we'll have Frosthowl guide Frostbite back to the tree, and we'll see if these two can come up with some sort of solution. Let's have him sniff around too. I mean, it's not as though there aren't any roots for you guys to dig up. There are so many places that you could use as graves. But this time, I don't think it's going to be enough. They might work for Tavon and they might work for Daylight, but for Daybreak, it's going to take something even stronger. So we'll bring Frosthowl back into the grass. Maybe he could even sit inside the grasses themselves. I think that's Daybreak, right? I'm pretty sure that's where he passed. He didn't even want Isme to see him, so that must be his remains. I thought for a moment it could be the rogue males, but I'm almost positive that's where Daybreak was. You know, Aura, we've kind of lost sight of your Berryina. Maybe you should scoot a little bit closer. I don't like him being out in the darkness like that, and I'm sure that she wouldn't either. And oh my goodness, Mimic, all of this punny meat, and there's still more to go around too. I even see some fish down here in the stream, but I feel like your brother would be a little bit more interested in catching those clown koi. I wonder if maybe he's going to return to his brother's side to let him know. Though to be honest, he's probably going to get distracted by the sound of their beautiful singing. So let's let these two let out their duet, belt out those beautiful songs, and see if anybody notices. Nobody except the bunnies. Oh my goodness. And you guys have so many bunnies to share. Maybe they're even learning a thing or two from Mimic. So as we go ahead and skip the day, I think that that's going to be the one thing that will actually lure Mimic away from his bunnies. Oh, even as the clovers grow back. Now that's interesting. I wonder if they grew back all around the island? It looks like we might have another clover patch right here. I don't see any others, but the one closest to Sunflower would probably be quite interesting to him. I wonder if he would try to lead Salami up into the mountains now. Maybe we'll bring him all the way up here, skipping through the tall grasses. Though we would need one other creature to ensure that she'll be warm enough. Well, maybe he's wondering if just lazing around in the bed of clovers will be enough to keep her warm. We'll bring her right here. She can snack on the bunnies too. Look at that. Not only is he a loyal warrior, a very loyal guard and friend, but he's also an excellent hunter. So you guys are going to be fed pretty well. Now, thank goodness Soul isn't sick, but he is, I'm afraid, on his final days. So now is going to be his last chance to spend with his family. We'll have him go ahead and pick up those last couple of berries. You know, he's even strong enough to swipe down the frozen berry bush. Oh my gosh, I didn't know it changed like that. Maybe that's stopping these berries from growing as much. Oh yeah, you can see that the branches have actually turned blue. Oh my gosh, I never noticed that before. Interesting. Yeah, that must be why there's not quite as many berries for us to pick. So berries are definitely not the top food source for us to rely on when we're inside the mountains like this. But honestly, I feel like the bunnies are a little bit more abundant. So Soul, go ahead and swipe that down, and you can pass it into Gold's paws, because I think it would make for some pretty excellent nesting material. It's not exactly the algae that Trinket is used to building her nests out of, so I wonder how that's going to affect their baby. Let's have her go ahead and set up her nest right here, and then we can have Soul scoot right on next to her. We're going to have Gold go into the grasses though. If he sets up right here, then he should be able to take advantage of this healing fruit on the next turn. Now I am a little bit concerned that something could come from the other side and steal it, and maybe Dusk Soul is a little bit concerned about that too. So let's bring his sister around this way, and we'll see if maybe she can smell anything out here. I did notice that leech in the water though. I wonder if it's going to get all the way over to this side of the shore. Well, she found a shell. I guess that's always a plus. Ah, and it's blocked by the berry bushes. So I suppose the only thing we would really have to worry about is the bunnies themselves. Well, that's good news for you, Dusk Soul. So as you go ahead and purr for this little baby, oh my goodness, and swipe up the bunnies too, excellent. What a legend, multitasking and everything. Those purrs should be enough to tie Gold over until it's time for him to munch on the healing fruit. Now as for you, Aura, unfortunately your escape route through the mountains is kind of being blocked right now. It seems as though Salami is going that way instead. And I wonder if the friendly Berryina is even going to follow you anymore. Maybe he's noticed the leaders lurking off in the distance too, and he probably remembers them from the time that his mother was killed. So he might just try to find his own path to travel. Now let's head back to Mimic, because as he crosses the stream to get over to his brother, I think he's going to call out about those fish. But once he gets to dry solid land, I'm wondering if he's going to try to jump on top of that stump too, and maybe let out a few of his own songs. It's something that Doubloon is not very likely to notice. He'll be too distracted trying to find food for his newest crush. And in fact, I think it's going to take him a little while to come back, because it looks like the clown koi may have skittered off. So that leaves you plenty of time to sing with Marigold, who seems to have a lovely voice. Maybe that's why she's attracted Mimic over here too. So go ahead and try your best to mimic your brother's song. Not bad. It looks like the bunnies are crawling out of the woodwork. But we'll have Marigold sing too to really show you how it's done. Now, I don't think your brother is going to be too happy to find that you're singing with his girlfriend. But for now, that's just going to be our little secret. If only things were as carefree over here by the safe haven, where unfortunately Ismi has passed. And I'm sure that Kaduk is very shocked to see her remains under this tree. Now he's going to have her daughter to look after too. Poor Shine, who barely knows anything about her family. I don't know if anyone else would even want to look after her. Would they punish her from where she came from? Honestly, Ismi's betrayal is likely to really shake up their family. So maybe Kaduk feels like it's his job to make sure that she's kept safe, and we'll have him pull her up through the tall grass, revealing finally that big healing fruit. Now, unfortunately, the Dodamingos are kind of getting in the way. It looks like you're going to have to claw your way around them if you want to get to this fruit at all. Oh my gosh, what a pain! Well, let's go ahead and sit you down right inside this nest then. That way the Dodamingos should hopefully leave it alone, and we can have you go ahead and munch on that healing fruit tomorrow. Oh my gosh, it's kind of stuck in between all the berry bushes now. Look how many berry bushes we have to pick from. It is absolutely crazy how much food is over here, but it does look like quite a few of the bushes might be poison. Maybe that's Daybreak's curse at work, poisoning the food beneath the safe haven so those who eat here will get sick. All the more reason for Frostbite to continue seeking out all of these places to take up the roots from. Let's bring him right down here too. It looks like there are even some roots to dig up right around his remains, so that has to help as well. You can almost form an entire circle right around the skeleton, which must be their attempt to keep his spirit at bay. Ah, yes. And it looks like the leech found you after all, Dawn Soul. Well, that's a bit unfortunate. We still have a couple turns left with you, but I think that leech is probably going to get to you if we move him. Well, Frosthowl, it's probably a bit more important that you scoot on over here and pick up some of this food for us. This is very, very tiring work for Frostbite after all, and we can always have Dawn Soul zip on back to her little brother. So one last time, let's go ahead and skip the day. But this time I want to focus on Trinket's baby to see how all of this is going to affect his birth. Oh, isn't he pretty? Unfortunately, it looks like he's just as sick as his older brother. And he does have the lean body too. Oh my gosh, how unfortunate. This poor little baby is going to be so, so cold. But oh my gosh, look at that mask. Wait a second. Is that the panda patterns? Oh my gosh, I think that might actually be the panda patterns. Let's see, shape pattern D. I think that might be... Oh, we are getting so close to seeing the return of Animeme, and he even has the crown of ram horns, the Berryina claw. I'm glad to see those nimble fingers again though, because that means he should be able to help out his brother pick up all of those acorns in the future. To be honest, he almost looks like a little acorn himself. He would probably blend in so well with the trees. Let's name this little baby Chestnut then. I feel like we may have used that name in the past, though I'm not sure if it was in this tribe. I know we've had a little family of nuts before, but Chestnut, I guess you're going to bring that tradition back. Now I'm almost positive that I heard of Berryina spawn too. And interestingly enough, it looks like our friendly Berryina has come up to confront both Sunflower and Salami. Oh, how strange, Aura. You're going to have to rush to his side to make sure that nothing bad happens to him. Oh no, but as I feared, it looks like the curse of the safe haven is breaking through. I think Daybreak is trying to stop his son from sending him off. So in the next episode, I guess this is going to be our top priority. We have to find some way to send this Berryina packing so Frostbite can continue his work. And this might be Kaduk's chance to shine. He does have quite a bit of defense after all, thanks to those mammoth feet. So after he takes his medicines, maybe we'll have him zip on over here. As fast as he possibly can anyways. It's not as though he's moving too quickly with those giant feet of his. This would be a good way for him to ensure that his niece will be alright too. little Shine who really doesn't have anyone else to protect her. She's going to admire her uncle for sure, not only for his bravery, but also for his kindness. It seems like that's something quite a few of our families need to relearn again. But for now, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye guys!